The weekly code quiz. What is the process by which form inputs are examined to prevent errors from being sent to the server? Client-side form validation. What is another function of client-side validation? Validation also prevents malicious actors from trying to take advantage of form inputs. In the past, JavaScript was required, which is beyond the scope of these videos, but with HTML5, there is now some built-in validation that does not require JavaScript. Although for more complex validation, you will need to understand and use JavaScript to execute. What are some examples of built-in HTML5 validation? Adding the required attribute to an input field makes it so a response is required by the user. So if the user attempts to leave the field blank, the user will receive a message to fill out the field prior to submission. What is an example of built-in HTML5 validation that we have already seen in looking at different input types? For input type equals email, the user will receive an error if their response is not in the following format: name@domainname.com. Name 3 other attributes that control a user's response to a form. Min length, max length, pattern. What is the purpose of each of these attributes? Min length and max length will limit the required minimum and maximum length of an element. If a user tries to enter an amount of characters less than the min length or more than the max length, they will receive an error message letting them know how many characters they must enter. Pattern is an attribute used to tell the browser what types of responses are appropriate. If the user's response does not match what is expected, an error will be generated. What is a common use of the pattern attribute? Pattern is often used with the password input type. Here is an example. H3 opening tag, password validation, H3 closing tag, form opening tag, label opening tag, for attribute equals password in quotation marks. Select a password, all lowercase letters between 8 to 12 characters, label, closing tag, line break. Input opening tag, type attribute equals password in quotation marks, ID attribute equals password in quotation marks, name attribute equals password in quotation marks, min length attribute equals 8 in quotation marks, max length equals 12 in quotation marks, pattern attribute equals bracket A to Z bracket 8, 12 bracket in quotation marks required, line break. Input opening tag, type attribute equals submit in quotation marks, value attribute equals submit in quotation marks, form closing tag. When using the password input type, the characters a user enters are masked. If you try to submit without entering a response, the required attribute generates an error. If you enter a password without enough characters to meet the min length, you generate an error. The max length prevents entering over 12 characters. And finally, if you enter a password with numbers and letters against what is required, you will generate an error. Presented by Designers Learn Code.